BoonDock Saints, BoonDock Saints, BoonDock Saints. Hey everyone, welcome to another Mo and Mom movie review. Today we're going to be doing one of our favorites, which is
BoonDock Saints.
BoonDock Saints, BoonDock Saints.
If you haven't seen it, it's a cult classic.
It's absolutely a wonderful movie, and we're going to launch right into our premise, which is going to be that our two brothers that we have that are the stars of our film, they pretty much go and they serve vigilante justice to bad guys that they kind of supersede the red tape, the failures
of the governmental red tape.
That's exactly right.
We start out in a church with our two brothers. They're twins, but they're not identical twins. But in an unusual situation where the minister is talking about a true story that I do remember. I was old enough to do that when a girl named Kitty was murdered in front of apartment tenements, and so many people witnessed, but everybody was too afraid or too indifferent to do anything about it. Which brings us to our quote that follows throughout the movie. The greatest evil men should fear, and this is not a perfect quote, is the indifference of good men.
That's it.
And that's so very, very true. So I love this premise.
So that's exactly right.
But our brothers no longer seem to leave the church when we see a little bit of their lives and find out they work in a meatpacking plant, and they're cutting up today's St. Patty's Day, and they're all ready to have fun. And then we fast forward to them walking into their neighborhood bar, where we meet a lot of their friends and characters, including the bartender who was... Yes! Yay! And we have to warn you, the F word is used in this movie, how many? 246 times. So if you are offended by the F word, then I suggest you find another movie or buckle up, Buttercup.
Just cursing in general. This whole movie just curses a lot.
They blast your ears. But it's worth it.
It is. It is very much worth it. So we end up in the bar with our bartender, who is just a wonderful man.
He has Tourette's. So he does say that.
Tourette's syndrome. And
we just know his name is being... Beep.
Then we have our mobsters walk in.
Yes. And we find out that our wonderful bartender is losing the neighborhood bar because the Russian mob is taking over in that area.
And they say, "Hey, it's Patty's Day. Relax. Everybody's Irish. It's St. Patrick's Day, and
we're gonna have fun."
They want to start a fight, and as soon as you know it's getting ready to happen, it cuts, and we don't really see what's going to happen to them.
Right.
It cuts to the next day,
the following day,
and we have enter some more of our characters for this movie.
I love our three goofy policemen. Well, they're not really goofy; they're just sort of they pale in comparison to our star that finally comes in. Willem Defoe is so awesome.
He's so cool.
He is just so intelligent and cool and eccentric.
He sits there and watches them for a minute, and lets them kind of make a fool out of himself before he shows up and really sets right the crime scene. But at least we have our three other detectives are kind of our comic relief throughout the entire thing.
Very much so.
He takes it upon himself. He trains them and teaches them along the way
and he shows them how he figures out a lot of things that they totally missed. But he himself is very confused. They don't know why they've got two dead Russian people laying there. Their clothes are kind of weird, and they're wrapped up in bandages, and they have no idea what's going on, but they start to figure it out. Then we fast forward back to the night before and how those Russians ended up getting there.
The bar
which
fight.
was our fabulous bar fight.
It was a good bar fight. At one point, they light the guy's bum on fire.
The Russian. They finally win. They
light him on fire. So
hence the weird bandages.
That's it. So the next day, our two main characters are just kind of up in their apartments on their own.
Illegal loft apartment.
The Russians show up for their revenge, and then we have our awesome toilet,
famous toilet scene.
Toilet scene, which you'll have to see. It's painful to watch.
The acting was great.
We would have filmed it, but I don't really want to go hug a toilet. So
yes, you do. We got a great film. Morgan loves hugging toilets.
She didn't make me film it because it's my camera, so we did not film that, but we kind of figure out where all the chaos comes from.
As we see it unfold, basically.
And they end up
we
in
don't
the
want to give
hospital.
too much away, but one of the brothers saves the other brother, and it's just awesome. That's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. It's so cool. But anyway, Willem Defoe has gone to the bar and explained that he's already figured out that whatever happened there in this alley was self-defense. Hence, the two brothers decide they're going to go ahead and turn themselves in. And when they meet Willem Defoe, they instantly develop a camaraderie, a respectful camaraderie.
Well,
they appreciate each other's intelligence.
They're very intelligent. They speak multiple languages. He asks them, "What are you guys? You're too smart to be working in a meatpacking plant." And they kind of shrug their shoulders like, what else are you going to do?
And the media has gotten a hold of this, so all the media is outside, and the brothers don't want anything to do with that. So they end up spending the night just to throw the media off. And during this time,
they get his pager, one of the Russian guy's pagers.
Yes.
So when it pages, he answers the phone in Russian, and he finds out what their next mission was.
but right before that, when they were in the jail cell, is when this water's coming down out of the ceiling, and they have this epiphany, which I think they could have done a much better job of that, because you only kind of realize this must have been the epiphany when you see what happens later on in the movie. Oh, that's why they're doing this. They were spoken to by...
While they were sleeping,
Yeah.
by an unknown source.
Yeah,
They
but
just
it both happened to them
Yeah.
at the same time.
They wake up and they both look at each other, and it's like they both know they're supposed to start on this journey.
So they get the Russian pager, and they call, and they find out, because they can speak Russian, they don't have to say much. They just find out where this Russian mob boss is coming, and they decide they're going to go
They sneak in.
do something about this.
We have the cool scene where they get to go pick out their instruments to use.
This stupid
That stupid f***ing rope. We had fun doing that scene.
Yes, that was a good scene.
That was a black eye or two.
But
during
they
it.
take out, brilliantly take out, and it's so television. They even talk about this, what I love. You know, on the TV, they never die. You know, he's jumping over the couch at you.
Then we have Rocco.
Rocco shows
we
up.
meet Rocco,
Yes.
who we've seen in the bar, but he actually shows up as one of our main characters, and they kind of mess with him a little bit. But
Oh, they have to.
they have to. Rocco joins the team, and they find out that he's actually been set up by his mob bosses. There was 9 people in that room, and they gave him a 6-shooter. And you don't have to be too brilliant to see the math
Well,
that he
they
wasn't.
understand that the mob was willing to sacrifice Rocco, but Rocco, who's been with them for years, does not want to believe that. He believes in the loyalty, but it finally sinks in a little bit later on.
That's true. That's exactly right.
So anyway,
They end up going back to their apartment. Is that correct?
I am drawing a blank.
Yeah, so they go back to his apartment, right? And then that's where we have our pizza scene.
Pizza drinking scene.
And then they're drinking, and we have
And Rocco's going, I work for the mob. I know everybody. We could
kill everyone.
And then we have the horrible, which the only thing I liked about this scene, because it was very upsetting to me,
cat splat.
it's an accidental thing. And they're talking about killing everybody, but yet when this happens to their poor cat, they are just horrified and they freak out. It's terrible. They're like, oh my gosh.
They obviously didn't mean to kill the cat, and
Yes.
it's very obvious that they panic. Oh, I can't believe that just happened. You know, they didn't mean to do it, but
It's well done.
It's a very surprising event if you're not used to seeing it.
But with Rocco's help, they start going after some of these bad guys. And the first one they go after is the big wig in he's in a burlesque bar. Titty bar.
Oh, he is in the bar. That's right. And that's where Rocco kind of loses it a little bit. And we have that funny scene. Eventually, they end up killing enough mob bosses that they get the main mob boss's attention.
That's right.
And
Willem Defoe also understands that he may not be too upset with these guys because they're taking out nothing but bad guys.
yeah, that's right. Bad of the
And
bad.
he starts to figure it out too.
So at some point, our bad guy, our main mob boss, says, we need to do something about this. He goes and asks for help from another much older mob boss, and he says, are you sure you want to release El Duce? And they release the murderer of murderers.
He's like the phantom murderer.
He doesn't do women and children, but you only release him. He's an animal if you want everyone to die. So they get this guy out of jail, got enough money and enough political power to do this, and set him loose on our brothers. And we have...
At one point, they are in a situation where they're killing more bad guys, and he shows up, and they have the firefight.
They have a firefight!
Which, if you see the movie, that's another good quote.
They lose a finger.
Yes.
Willem Defoe starts losing his mind as the main detective
Trying to
because
figure all this out. And
he's having a hard time putting it together, and usually
But then he finds the finger.
he finds the finger, and that helps put him on the trail, and it also lets him know who is really behind all of this.
Exactly.
And that's where we start having an ethical question with our police officers. Do they let this continue,
Because they're doing things that the police can't. You know, the police is so bound up in red tape.
Well, they can, but as soon as it gets tossed up into courts with all the money and all the political
That's what I'm
pull
saying. The
from
results.
the bad guys, Yeah, they always get back out. They start that at the very beginning,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and in the middle. They say getting out on bail like that the same day. So either way, we have obviously when we have our brothers get kidnapped by our mob boss.
Well, they have a situation gone bad where they think they're going to sneak in and kill a lot of people, but they're being expected. They are, you know, and they get caught. And they get put in down to a basement and handcuffed to metal chairs, and Rocco is there, and they're having the stuff beat out of them.
Oh, Rocco.
I know.
Anyways, we won't. You can watch that. I don't like that scene.
I
But
know.
El Duce shows up, and because we have our awesome Willem Defoe scene, he is dressed as a woman.
Oh, William Defoe realizes what's going on, and he's going to try to save the boys.
That scene.
Oh, he does a drag scene. Oh, yeah, and we've got it terrible.
If you haven't seen our 30-second video, then you won't know why we're so embarrassed about this. But we do a mockery of a scene William Defoe does where he's dressed in drag, and I'm really embarrassed.
You wanna do it?
No, you'll have to watch that video to see that.
It's bad.
It's hilarious. That's why we left it in there. But anyways, he does dress in drag.
He does an excellent. He's a good actor. I love William Defoe.
He does such a good job, and he's actually very beautiful as a woman.
He's not bad looking.
No, he's not at all, and that's why he gets into there.
But because El Duce's motto is "No women or children," that's why he survives.
He survives that encounter.
Unfortunately, Rocco does not.
And
But
I
hated that when they had to break their wrist to get out of the chairs.
Oh, it was painful.
One brother kicking the other one.
Most of this very fast-paced movie, it's very fast-paced, and it's very painful to watch a lot of these scenes, but it's so much fun. Oh my gosh.
It is so much fun.
So they are praying for Rocco, and it's a very family Irish prayer, and when El Duce walks in the room, he recognizes it right off the bat, and he actually finishes it up.
And realizes he's found his two sons.
And a twist. What a twist. So
now we've got all three of them are going to get together and increase their vigilantism.
So our very last scene, the end of the movie, is our very bad mob boss, the one that's kind of been, the one that you made fun of in our 30-second video, is in court.
And he's going to get
off. He's got enough money. Again. You know, he's going to be able to pull the strings and be able to get off. And all of our three vigilantes go in there and make a huge scene. They want the world to know.
And guess who gets them in there?
Our police.
Our police help get them in. So it's beautifully, I love how it comes together and they work together.
And they make in front of the television cameras and everything, they want the world to know that if you kill, if you rape, if you steal, these are things that every man should be able to follow regardless of your religion. And if you don't, watch out. These three people will be after you, you know.
BoonDock Saints is behind you.
And they take out our boss right there, and everybody runs from the courtroom screaming.
I love how this movie ended, though. They did this wonderful thing where they're just interviewing people on the street.
The credits are rolling.
And you get the fabulous array of how humanity probably would react to a situation like this.
Camera crew. It's a woman reporter, and she's asking people, what do you think about the BoonDock Saints? And they're going...
From both spectrums, they're going, oh, they're great. Every city should have them, too. How can anybody take law into their own hands?
Just because you get a gun means you get to go choose who's bad and who's good.
But it was an excellent way to end this movie.
Go Saints! Go Saints! I wish we had them in every city.
It was a
great movie.
Feel-good movie. Do be prepared for the F word.
So many times. So many times. There's some nudity. There is a brief nudity.
Yes. Itty bitty.
Sorry. Anyways,
that's a good way of putting it.
We really hope, please let us know what you think.
Yes.
We really hope that you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoy our review. And if you want something sillier and shorter, go watch our 30-second video on this as well.
Oh, dear.
Anyways, please subscribe if you don't. We try to release something every month, and we really appreciate your time, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you again. Bye.
How long was it?